Welcome to Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show, brought to you by the great folks at COMC, Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. As you know, we've got a new guest for you every week here on the show, somebody important in the community, and this week it's Mr. Mayor.
Well, thank you very much. Pleasure being here, Chris.
Good to have you. Michael Harmison, Mayor of Osage Beach, also the owner of Harmys Cheese store.
That's correct.
Right.
That's
so
correct.
We knew you as Harmy for so many years. Then you got into politics. Now we have to call you Mr. Mayor, you know. Are you liking that? Are you liking people calling you Mr. Mayor, or do you miss just being a regular Joe?
No, I enjoy it. It's my brother's a judge in Springfield, and he told me once I was elected, you just lost your first name. They call him judge, they call you mayor, but no, I'm still Michael, I'm still Harmy. You know, I haven't changed anything, but the City Hall people, it's kind of neat and professional that they call you sir or mayor, and it's not egotistical, it's just out of respect, and
right.
It's been going real well. I enjoy it.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So you didn't grow up at the lake. You're an Iowa boy, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Where in Iowa?
Indianola, Iowa, 12 miles south of Des Moines. I wrestled in Warrensburg, Missouri.
Okay.
I was a decent wrestler, but at the time I was not Iowa State good, but I was pretty good from Missouri, so I came down here and wrestled and started coming to the lake actually in college. We came over here and for fraternity functions, and then I've been coming down to the lake for 32 years. I used to be in the fundraising business, and we had conventions at Tantera, Missouri Music Educators, Missouri Principal, and then started bringing the family down here probably in the 90s, and I said, when my son graduates, this is where I want to live the rest of my life.
Yeah, and here you are.
Made that happen 8 years ago, and I do not regret a single day. Kim and I travel quite a bit in Florida and wherever, and we say it's all beautiful, but we don't want to live anywhere except here.
Yeah, my wife and I say the same thing. So I want to go back to the wrestling thing here real quick. Wrestling is tough. I mean, that's mano-a-mano stuff, and you were a wrestler through college, right?
Well, not through college. I did that for about 2 years, and then I entered the military on a split option training deal. And so I did for 2 years in college, and second grade on up through high school. And
wow.
I always tell people, there's a lot of tough sports out there, but it's the one sport where you really have to watch what you eat.
Wow, yeah. So making weight is tough.
Back in the day, we did it all the wrong way. I think they do it much better today, but definitely an excellent sport.
Yeah, what was your weight?
I graduated high school at 112 pounds.
Wow.
That was my wrestling weight. I started the season about 140. And I always tell people, but people will see me. I actually grew about 5 inches after high school.
Really?
And I'll see people I hadn't seen for 30 years, and they'll say, what happened to you? And I said, I started eting.
Yep.
I'm still only 5'9", but that'll give you some idea how small I was in high school.
I can relate,
yes.
Absolutely. So you found the lake kind of coming here and stuff, and you mentioned the fundraising thing. This was one of your businesses where you helped people raise funds, right?
Right, and it was for-profit for my company, but for nonprofit organizations, Camden Band sold cookie dough. Future Farmers of America was my biggest business. They're yellow and blue, and if you go to Harmys Cheese store, it's yellow and blue.
Right.
4 FFA colors, and it's called Harmys because my nickname in college, my last name's Harmison. My nickname was Harmy in school. So, yeah, nonprofit organizations, I've done that for many, many years up until about 6 months ago.
And you gave up the nonprofit part of your private business just because you didn't have enough time for it anymore?
Well, it was a long time coming. There were some variables. We went from about 300 schools nationwide pre-COVID, about 160 after COVID.
Yeah. And
the fundraising business, it's been hit and miss in our economic times right now. A lot of the gift giving at different times has subsided, and the cheese store is doing well, and we're going to try to do a very big online program similar to like a Hickory Farms online ordering. So it was time, and then the mayor gig came up, and I was like, well, I really wanted to give my heart and soul in the mayor, and I didn't want to think busiest time of the year, I'm not here, and so it was just perfect timing. Yeah.
Okay, so how do you get started in the cheese business? I mean, have you just like always loved cheese your whole life, or how'd you get into that?
Great question. The fundraising, I sold cheese and sausage and cookie dough to FFAs. So I've been doing that for 32 years. So I knew a little bit about cheese. And when I was going to move down to Lake of the Ozarks, I was looking for a property. My original plan was to do the do the fundraising during the school year and enjoy the lake, during the off season, because businesses are just different. And then a couple of years before I moved down here, the bypass went in. Down on the dead end, some of the property became very reasonable. So I bought the house on 3 acres that's not too far from Harley-Davidson, and there's no cheese store, and I thought, I know a little bit about cheese, so opened a cheese store, and everybody would come in and they'd say, a cheese store in the dead end? Well, good luck. Yeah. And 7 years later, now we have 150 varieties of cheese and wine. We have our own Harmys Hooch, a full bar, and expansions, and it's just been really good. And I have 2 very good managers, so I don't have to spend a ton of time there. We meet weekly.
Right.
But I get in the morning, I'll work out, I'll get back, I'll meet with my managers, and then pretty much go to City Hall about every day.
Oh, and you got a very interesting business way you do business over at Harmys, because you let people taste everything.
Correct.
Right? I mean, you can walk through the store. Some people are pretty aggressive about it, about making sure they eat every cheese in the room and stuff like that. Yeah. But it's pretty brilliant when you think about it, because when they start tasting things they like, they want to buy them.
They do. Try it before you buy it. It's one of those things that you go to a grocery store and you can't try everything on the shelf.
Right.
But we really promote try it before you buy it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool too. Now, do you let them do that with the Harmys Hooch too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. They get a little. It's not a shot, but a little bit. But no, we have caramel apple, blackberry, pecan pie, peach, and jalapeno hooch.
Wow.
Just delicious.
We got a little taste of that because on our open house here at Lake TV, you came over and, and that was fantastic.
It was a good time. It's good stuff.
So we're getting to know Mr. Mayor. It's Michael Harmison, the mayor of Osage Beach, with us here today. We'll have more. We'll find out more about his past, his background, right here on the Spotlight Show. At COMC, your health is our mission. Central Ozarks Medical Center is growing in our community with a new dental location to serve you in Eldon and a new location in Loring. COMC also makes your children a priority with a mobile dental unit serving schools in rural areas where access can be a challenge. COMC also offers OBGYN, sports medicine, pediatric, and behavioral health care. Get more info on how COMC can help you at centralozarks.org. COMC, where your health is our mission. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, Lake TV's got it all. We think it's hot stuff when things cool down. We spring into action when things start warming up. Of course, summer is one big, huge shootout on Lake TV. And we fall in love all over again when autumn rolls around. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, Lake TV's got it all.
Join Lake TV for a cup of coffee with Will and Chris. Enjoy local stories, local sports, taste the lake, hometown heroes, and more. Have a cup of coffee with Will and Chris, weekdays at 8:02 a.m., 1:02 and 8:02 p.m. on Lake TV.
Welcome back to Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show, brought to you by the great folks at COMC, Central Ozarks Medical Center. We're talking with Mr. Mayor Michael Harmison, mayor of Osage Beach. Fairly new at this point in the gig. Are you liking it?
I really am. I joke around, tell people, I said, after 59 years, I think I finally grew up to know what I want to do.
Really?
I'm enjoying it. I jumped in both feet. Myself and the city officials, the elected aldermen, we're playing nice, we're getting along. We don't agree on everything. I came in with some very points that were different than that were given. Yeah. Customer service is huge to me. Not that they weren't customer service in the past, but as a business owner, I built a building out back, and I saw struggles working with the system, and so I became part of the system. So now it gives you the opportunity to look behind the scenes. Yeah. As business owners and citizens of Osage Beach, a lot of time you see city ordinances that you don't like, but a lot of them are there for a purpose. But there's some of the things I said I want the people, the businesses, the entrepreneurs, the developers that come to the city of Osage Beach know that there's rules and policies, but the city's there to help them.
Right.
So if somebody calls and says, I'm having a problem with permitting this, go out and visit with them.
Yeah.
Get face to face. My name is Michael Harmison. I'm with the city. I understand you're having problems. I'm not an architect. I'm not, but you know what? I understand. Here's what you need to do. And if we can help you, we'd love to help you. I want people to know that there's rules and regulations, but we're here to help them.
And I'm guessing you've gotten a pretty good response to that.
We have. We got a lot of neat things going on right now. And again, the aldermen, there's some things that we agree on, some things we don't agree on. I've had some spirited conversations with some of them.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you can agree to disagree, and you don't let one minor infraction or one complication deter you from working together for a better cause on the next time.
Right, absolutely. We talked a few minutes ago about your sporting past, a big wrestler growing up and into college and everything. Your kids are big into sports. I think you were a coach of a lot of their sports, and you're, I think, into martial arts, right?
I was. My son and I actually, my daughter was actually a two-time national gymnastic champion.
Wow.
And I helped her with that, and basically built a springboard in the basement, and we were down there flipping, and my son was into baseball and football and all that, and of course coached him in Little League and soccer. And my son and I don't remember how old he was, but we're thinking we want to do taekwondo, and he got bored with it, and I kept going.
Wow.
So I enjoyed that. It was kind of funny. If you ever seen Seinfeld, where Kramer was up against a girl that was like 10 years old in yellow belt, that was me. But I kept going. I got to be a second-degree brown before I moved down to Lake of the Ozarks. And
wow.
I've not pursued it since then, but it was enjoyable.
Yeah, it's a good way to stay in shape, I think.
It is.
That's for sure. So, and your first trip to Vegas, this is one of those things a lot of people don't know about you.
Right.
First trip to Vegas, you hit $1 million jackpot.
$1 million nickels.
$1 million nickels.
Yes,
You just wish it was dollars, but it was nickels.
Yes, and that was one of the things in the bio that the city asked, write something about that I forwarded to you. I was 25 years old, first time to Vegas, and the second day, I had a $50 a day budget per day for 4 days, and within like 3 hours when I first got to Vegas, I blew through 3 days worth of budget in a couple hours.
Of course.
So I wake up the next morning angry and short on funds, and so I thought, I'm going to play the nickel slots. And it wasn't 20 minutes later, I hit $1 million nickels, and it was at the Riviera Hotel and Casino, and so they gave me a check for 20 grand, and then I got a $10,000 check every year on that anniversary date.
Wow.
So yeah, and I thought there's nothing to this gambling. And I've since found out different. but yeah, that was pretty neat. Came back to Iowa. People said, "Did you blow it all?" No, I actually came back home with a check with $19,900. I dipped into $100 for gifts, and came home and put a down payment on a house. So it was kind of neat.
So $1 million nickels is $50,000.
50 grand. And I got paid $20,000 there, and then $10,000 a year for 3 years.
Right. Okay. Well, hey, you'll take it,
Oh
right?
yeah, most definitely.
Right. So does being mayor of Osage Beach take a lot of time?
It's as much time as you want to. I'm there pretty much every day. There's a lot of reading involved, which I'm not a book reader, but I read policies. And in fact, the city attorney said, I've never had a mayor that reads everything that I give them. I educate myself. I really, really love this city, and there's a lot of things coming down the pipe, whether you agree or not agree with TIFs and tax abatements, and I delve into it, and I read. And so even if I'm not at City Hall, a lot of times I'll bring stuff home with me and read.
Yeah.
And I'm at an advantage too that I've got a city attorney, I've got counsel outside the state. So if I don't understand something, I reach out to them, give me some information, let me read. And if I'm passionate about something and I believe in it, I can sell it, but I want to understand it.
Right.
And if I don't understand it, I read and ask questions until I do.
And in your position, it's pretty key to read the fine print, because stuff can be hidden in there that's not real good.
Most definitely. And one thing I found that's kind of neat is I always tell people I oversimplify things. The attorney mumbo jumbo and the language and the where of and the how into, and just give it to me the way it is.
Yeah.
And what I try to do, oversimplify things and never be afraid to ask questions. It's been funny, I'll be in some meetings and we'll have 10, 15 people, and a lot of people have been there a long time, and I know there's been times when they have a question but they don't ask because they probably should know.
Right.
Well, I shouldn't know, so I just asked the question. And then half a dozen other people will say, I didn't know that either. So, it's been good. I'm enjoying it, reading a lot. I'm there pretty much every day. people joke and laugh. We figured up the other day that I think my salary is about $2.40 an hour.
Nice.
So
hey.
I've got that going for me.
Big money, right? So there he is. That's Mr. Mayor Mike Harmison, Mayor of Osage Beach, also the owner of Harmys Cheese Store. Thank you, sir. We appreciate your coming by.
Thank you. This is great. Love it.
All right. And thank you for joining us for Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show.